It is the same problem every year. Students fall for the myth of learning, but the reality they're just busy, not productive. Unfortunately, there is no school course that teaches you how you learn. You're left to figure it out on your own. And for most students, that means a lot of time, effort, and sometimes disappointment along the way. The truth is that there are three things students keep doing that look productive but quietly waste hours every single week. Let's start with the most common one I see every day: copying and pasting knowledge. Most students think that the more they write, the more they learn. So they fill page after another, rewriting their notes, copying slides, or summarizing the textbook word for word. It feels productive, but it's not learning. Real learning happens when you process the information, when you think about it, or question it and connect it to something you already know. If all what you're doing is writing things down so you don't forget, you're not processing. You're just transferring text from one place to another. Here's a quick test. Go back to your notes from last week and try to explain the content without looking. If you can't, that's a clear sign that your note taking was shallow. So instead of copying, engage with the material. Rewrite the ideas in your own words. Add examples, draw quick diagrams, or explain the concept out loud as if you are teaching it. Some students swap the pen for a highlighter thinking it's better, but it's the same trap in a different color. Highlighting every other sentence in your book might make your notes look neat, but it doesn't make your memory any stronger. When you highlight, you're recognizing something is important, but doing actually nothing to remember it. That's like marking items on a shopping list, but never buying these items. Instead of highlighting, try active annotation. Write short questions in the margin or underline one key phrase. Summarize the paragraph in one sentence. That little bit of thinking turns reading into real learning. Number three is the most misunderstood study tool of all time: flashcards. They are not the problem really, it's how most students use them. Flashcards are perfect for short definition, formulae, or small details, but they won't teach you how to solve problems. If you're turning everything into a flashcard, you'll end up memorizing the questions rather than understanding the ideas behind them. That's why so many students feel confident while using the flashcards, but still freeze in the exam because they have trained their mind to recognize, not to recall. My advice is to use flashcards for quick facts, but practice past paper questions to build problem-solving skills and exam confidence. Now that you know what you should not do, let's talk about what actually works, the strategies that make information stick and save you hours of wasted effort. First, whenever you're studying a big topic, start looking for connections, things that are similar, opposite, or related. This is how your brain builds memory. For example, instead of memorizing every single enzyme separately, group them by function or by organ. Each time you make a connection, you make recall faster and stronger. When you feel overwhelmed by too much information, pause and look for any pattern. You'll often find that 20 scattered facts can actually fit in 3 or 4 logical groups. And your brain loves that kind of structure. The second thing that truly changes your result is how you practice. Most students revise by repeating information, but real learning happens when you apply what you know. Most exam questions don't test you on how much you remember. They test you how you can use the knowledge. So instead of memorizing every line in your notes, practice solving questions, drawing diagrams from memory, and linking concepts across the chapter. Aim to spend 70 to 80% of your study time on problem solving and application, and only 20% on memorizing small details. That's how you prepare for tricky questions, the ones that separate top students from the rest. Finally, remember the goal isn't to study more hours, it's to make every hour count. When you start questioning how you learn, not just what you learn, studying stops feeling like a race and start becoming progress you can actually see.